Hello, and I wanted to try a different format. So there was a art school that I used to go to, and they used to have this beautiful studio. It was like in the basement of an apartment. It really smelled really bad. It smelled really bad in there, and it was like a basement, so it smelled really bad. And the teacher, Giorgio was a really good teacher. Could like I don't know, talk for hours about anything, and it was insane because all the students were getting marginally better over time due to the teachings of Giorgio. But then there was a flood, right? So we couldn't go to that school anymore, and then Giorgio, he got sick and he had moved away to go live with like his daughter and stuff. So we never really saw him again or heard from him again. And like all the classmates, like we didn't really keep in touch or anything like that because we were young. But it's like it's pretty insane because that was a experience that we had together, and now it's kind of like you know almost like an alternate reality. Like it feels like it never happened. And a lot of those faces and a lot of those people, like I can't really recall or even recollect. All I can remember is like the smell of the of the basement, and like how the walls were like like dark black, and they had like the little like basement windows, and the weird like curtains and things of that nature. And it was like a little seedy spot, but it's gone now. Like it does not exist. Like without the memory of it, that place does not exist. And those people, depending on how far they got in life after that, theoretically my memory might be the last thought of them or the last idea of them. Their ideas might be the last thoughts of me. But I guess that's not true because there are other people that know me and think about me, and if you're watching this video, you're witnessing me in this very moment. So that wouldn't be a very true statement. But experiences like that often like make me think about like forks in the road, like things that you do and how that creates like alternative paths in your life. Like sometimes doing nothing can lead to immense gains and immense like engagements of ideas and like concepts that happen because you were inactive. But if you were doing stuff, those opportunities may have not been so fruitful, not been so easily able to bask in the glory of those things. You know what I mean? Like there are certain mindsets and things that happen that cause other stuff to happen. Like all right, you got dressed and you went to the store, and instead of buying an apple, you got um an orange. And now it's like well, what if I would have got that apple? Or you got the apple and you like bit into it and you didn't notice that your tooth was loose and your tooth came out. So what if you would have got the orange instead? Like things like that always perplex me, but only in the like a funny kind of way, like the ooh what if type scenario. Like ooh what if I like got a haircut. Like the timeline in which I like cut my hair again is a bad timeline because it means that I have to I'd be spending money uh to get my hair done, and I genuinely don't want to spend money to get my hair done. I mean currently right now I'm not, but if I had to it'd probably be pretty expensive as well. And it's just something that I just don't agree. I just don't enjoy. I don't enjoy getting my hair done. I don't enjoy getting my hair cut. I don't enjoy getting my hair braided. Neither experience makes me um, particularly happy. They are both taxing and exhausting for me. Now, if I had to do one or the other, I would much rather get my hair braided at this point. I mean, when I was little, I used to get my hair braided when I was young, and it used to hurt really bad. So then I stopped getting my hair braided because it hurt too much. And I was like, a little kid, so you get mad and you're like, well, I want to get my hair cut. And then you start getting your hair cut, and that also hurts. And then you don't like that either. So you just like, I hate them both. And the stupidity of it all is like, all right, getting my hair braided was like, probably like once every like 3 weeks or like once a month. Getting a haircut is like every 2 weeks or so. So it's like more frequent and it's more annoying. And depending on how your hair grows and how they cut your hair, you get razor bumps. Those things start to hurt. It's just the whole like symptom of things that nobody really cares about. And I don't like it. I find it to be really annoying. I prefer, easy breezy things, but there is no like opt out. I guess like, being bald, but I love my hair too much for that. I don't really ever want to endure such an event. I like to keep all my hair on my head and live my life the way that is most comfortable for me. So those things are things that I don't want to engage with, but they're just like a whole bunch of little things where you can go one way or another way. And going to like that school, and then like the teacher was gone, and he like went to go live with his daughter, whatever the case may have been, and we never saw him again. So we'd have been like, at this point, I would think that maybe he might not be around, but I doubt we'll ever find them. And honestly, I don't really want to look for him, because if he's where he is, he's probably there for a reason. He's looking. He's not. He's doing whatever he's doing. But it probably would be nice to hear if he was okay or not. But that's uh just one person on the list of missing people in my world. There's a ongoing list of people that just become hidden and dissipate due to time and or circumstance. And it's very interesting when that happens, because you never know like how long somebody's going to be in your life or how long you're going to know somebody. So maybe in theory you should cherish the people that are in your life, whether they be friends or family, as long as they're like not causing it direct strife and pain, in which case I don't support falsely cherishing people that cause you harm and dismay, because that's not uh, good for your overall being. Like learning things about like stress causing you to, or stress and like trauma shortening your lifespan, having like a toll on your like heart and stuff like that, and your brain, is actually really alarming, because you don't know if you've been traumatized or if you've had trauma. And most of the time, and when you have, apparently it just shortens your life and makes it, you know so that you won't be having such a long of a lifespan. But I'm not a scientist and or a doctor, just something that I've come across. Maybe it's hoopla and hook'em or whatever. But uh it is very interesting in that regard, you know because in theory, like, what if we would have been able to stay at that art environment? I could theoretically, I probably wouldn't have stopped drawing, and I probably would have been further along. But you just don't know. I might have not. I might have become disinterested, because back then the interest in art was, oh, I see it on TV. Like, I see like Dragon Ball Z on TV, or I see this on TV. I want to draw that, and then you do it, and it's like, well, all right, but it doesn't look good. So you're like, well, you don't know what you're doing wrong, because you just think that like it's like writing. When you write a letter, there's no like breakdown for writing a letter, at least in my opinion. Like, if you write an E, you can just do one motion. If you write an L, it's one motion. A V, one motion. An O, one motion. S, one motion. B, one motion. But when you draw a body, it can be one motion, but it's usually not. When you draw a face, it can be one motion, but it's usually not. When you do hair, it can be one motion, but it's not. And to incorporate those into drawing is a weird task. Like, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to turn that into a strength. Um, it is interesting for that reason, but I could couldn't tell you how to do that. I couldn't explain to you how to make everything easier for yourself. But what I would say, as far as like most things go, is like do everything the hard way. If there's something that you're learning how to do, do it the hard way. Do it literally the hardest way possible. Do it the hardest way possible as much as possible. And the reason that I will say that is because over time your brain will start to figure out a method to make this hard task easier, because the brain does not like to do hard work. The brain does not like to learn new things. It is a uh, pampered baby, and it does not like anything that disrupts its little cradle. Anything that goes against easy and normal is like, I can't take that. I don't want to do that. And it's very annoying. It's one of the most annoying parts of uh, brains, because they will just sit there and do nothing the whole time. And as soon as you go to learn something, it's like, well, I don't want to. It's like, I wonder, like, are people who are, that other people claim are like naturally gifted or smart, like, do they have that same thing? Like, does their brain have the adverse effect of when they try to learn something new, it's like you're causing it pain? It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Stop it. And that's why you have to, like, kind of like, I guess, train your brain. But this might not even be real science, so take everything what I say as a opinionated thought. But it's hard to know where I could have gone, or where any of us could have gone, with consistent instruction from Giorgio at that studio. But that is the past. That is what happened in the past. But sometimes you do dwell on those things because you know um, things from the past often seem like a one-stop shop or a solution. And theoretically right now you are living in the past. Theoretically right now you are witnessing the past, you are experiencing the past, and everything that you do is technically going to be the past. Now, with that being said, the past that you're trying to cultivate is the reality that you exist in now, the future that you exist in now. If you do those things that you wanted to do back then, depending on if you still have the range of mobility and or facilities to do such, you can make it so that you have that thing in the next 5 years, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next year, the next 6 months. You can be giving yourself a leg up by preparing and doing these things for the future now, instead of thinking back to 1932. I'm just coming up with a random number and things like that, or 1999 or 2002, thinking back that far to like, well, this could have happened. It's like, yeah, anything could happen back then, but now you're working on these things and you're getting the things that you want to get out now. So if you do it now, by whatever, you won't be thinking back to 2026 thinking, well, I couldn't do that thing 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, well, you're working on it now, so you could do it tomorrow. And that's the important part, is putting those things into practice. Don't dwell on the past in that way. Use your current time to shape your past for your past and your future now. Those two things are very important, in my opinion. But or it is the way that I deal with, the constantly thinking back to like, yo, I was unhinged, or I was, I would have been better if I would have did this. I would have been better if it was like, well, just do it now then, and then you could be better tomorrow. Because if you wait until then, you'll never be good at it, and you'll never have what you need to evolve as whatever it is that you're doing. Art, music, whatever it is that you're doing, web design, coding, whatever it is. If you do it now, tomorrow you will be able to have that power, that ability to function much better, more competently. And another thing too is, I think reframing the language that you use, like, competence. Having a competence in art is different than being a great artist, in my opinion, because having competence in art will allow you to create great art, and then eventually you will be a great artist. But it's not always the same thing. They don't exist in the same space to me, because you could be good at drawing boxes but not know how to apply that to actual things, which is something that, I often struggle with, because like, yeah, all right, you could draw this box, but like, how do I turn this object into a box? I don't know. It's a very strange concept for me, but it's something that you still just keep always working on, because you always want to work on things. You always want to try to improve them. And I also want to say, if you made this far into the video, thank you. And don't forget to like, comment, and devise. We were just, sketching around on the paper here, trying to get out some ideas, trying to feel out some stuff before I get into what's going to happen next in the subsequent video, where I'm working on one of my characters. So if you're interested in that, get ready. It will be out the following day. We put out new videos every day at 11 a.m. EST. And thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.